Hey everyone, History Mystery Man here, coming to you today from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. I'm actually here for the BC39, so I'll be headed over to the dirt track a little later on this afternoon. But I can never come to Indy without visiting the museum. This place means so much to me. The history here is so important and so interesting, and especially now, considering we're headed off, or what seems like to me, headed off into the electric car revolution, which makes this history here even more interesting. These cars, which all hold the internal combustion engines, the Millers, the Offenhausers, the double overhead Ford cams, it's all here, the sounds of yesteryear. This place is more important with each passing moment, as this place holds American history for the Indianapolis 500, reaching back to 1911. This place is absolutely fascinating. By the way, no chance of an electric car revolution tonight at the dirt track. It's all internal combustion motors, noise, dirt in your face, and a whole bunch of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana. Let's go see what's inside.
So I brought all that stuff further back. Yep. So just jammed it.
That's fine. Hey, right. JJ Yaley, welcome to the BC39. What is this for you? Is this fun? Away from the Cup grind? What is this for you? Getting back to your roots?
It's all those things. I mean, obviously, I love dirt racing. Always have, always will. You know, even on off weekends when I'm at a NASCAR event, I'm still watching flow and keeping up with either midgets or sprint cars. So, you know, the opportunity doesn't always present itself. Obviously, a midweek race makes it a lot easier. You know, obviously, I've driven for Glenn's Tires for a number of years, and you know, Kyle Cummins runs this particular program for Glenn. So it makes it easier for me to just kind of show up knowing that the cars will be prepared, it's going to be ready to go, familiar with everyone that's involved, and you know, that makes it more fun for me because, again, you know, I know all these guys, and we can kind of cut loose a little bit and enjoy ourselves at the same time. You know, here's still to win, and it's not just a goof off. So you know, anytime we go dirt racing, the goal is to win, be fast, and you know, last year really struggled with, had some engine issues, had some car issues, so changed up a little bit this year and hope for better results.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice there are 89 entries here. How do you win this race? I don't get it.
It's I mean, just like anything else, you got to be fast. It's difficult being a one-off guy coming in and running against, you know, the Keith Coons, the Chad Boats, the McIntoshes that are, you know, running 100 races a year, really tuning on the cars. They know exactly where they want to go. You know, they've basically eliminated the guesswork when it comes to the setup and the racetrack conditions. So, I mean, you're already a little bit of a disadvantage before you ever get started. So, you know, again, that's the good part about jumping in with Kyle. He's been running this program here for a couple of years. So, you know, it still takes luck, takes fast car, and, you know, a bit of bravery. You know, there's a lot of kids that run these midgets, and, you know, they haven't taken enough bad tumbles to know some of those bad situations when they present themselves. So, you got to be a little bit leery, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you do to win a race.
And finally, when your Cup career is over, whenever that time comes, do you see yourself jumping back into the open wheel world full time, or will you be by then maybe ready to ride off in the sunset?
I don't know. That's a pretty hard question to answer. You know, obviously, I feel like I still have some years left in me on the NASCAR side of things. You know, obviously, I'll be back at Chili Bowl. That's a staple event always in my schedule. You know, I enjoy coming and running these races as much as possible, but again, and really, in order to be successful, you have to do it, you know, 2-3 times a week like most of these guys do, and that's still pretty hard. You know, and I'm kind of past that point in my career of chasing victories and trophies. I mean, I feel like I've accomplished all those things while I spent my time here in USAC. So it's good to come in, have fun, you know, get that release, go out there and try to win the race, but full-time might be a little bit of a stretch.
Got it. What's your favorite food? What do you like to eat?
Favorite food is tacos. Taco Tuesday. Every Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. Where's that at?
I do it at home. You know, I have a margarita, may have a little other type of drink, but homemade tacos, homemade salsa, homemade guacamole. Every Tuesday is a staple in the Yaley house.
That's awesome. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you.
For sure.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thanks for coming out.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good
You're
luck
welcome.
tonight.
Have a good night.
What is this for you, Ricky Stenhouse? Is this a break from the NASCAR Cup grind? Is this fun? Is this getting back to your roots? What is it for you?
Yeah, it's all the above. I think, for me, just getting out here and, running midgets. I feel like midgets are some of the, most fun race cars I've ever driven. And, it's where I feel like I helped kind of make a name for myself before, switching over to stock cars and things like that. So to come out here and run midgets is always fun. And then obviously you pack that on with, the BC39. Brian was one of my best friends. And, so to come out here and run his race is really special.
What kind of buttons do you have to push in your head to go from a 3,400-pound Cup car to a little 900-pound midget? I mean,
nothing. I mean,
nothing?
you just these cars like a lot of throttle. Obviously, you got to be pretty finesse in our Cup cars with how heavy they are and try not to kill the tires. But these, you better get on the throttle as soon as you can.
Yeah, 89 entries. How the hell do you win this thing?
It's a tough race. We got to do heat races with passing points, and I think that's probably the most critical part of the 2 nights is your heat race on the first night. So we start 8th in our heat. I feel like if we can get to 3rd, we'll kind of put ourselves in a good position and be able to set ourselves up for the qualifiers tomorrow night. So that'd be, I would say, the #1 key to winning is having a good heat race.
Yeah, and finally, when your Cup career is over, and I know you're not there yet, but could you see yourself jumping back into the open wheel world more full-time? Or
I don't know about full-time. I mean, I really enjoy coming. I would like to run more than I do right now. So.
Yeah. You haven't been running a lot.
I haven't been running a ton. We've had some stuff on the schedule that's gotten rained out, running sprint cars with my dad and stuff like that. So hopefully we can do some more before the season's over.
What's more nerve-wracking, the Cup thing or getting in a midget on a boring?
This is fun. I mean, it's nerve-wracking just because it's not something I do every weekend.
All right. Thanks for your time.
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Heat race as well, heat race as well. Alpine California race from beyond 40 to 40B in the 60 of Jason.
Chip, kind of floating it at the end of the straightaway. So I was kind of backpedaling at the end of the straightaway for it. Yeah. So I don't know what.
I can do that. I can look at it from this point.
Yeah. Check that out. I felt like I had to turn it to get it in. It was almost a little too tight to rotate in. Once I kind of got in, I felt like it slid just because I was almost too tight on entry and trying to pitch it in. But I slid for a while. But once I got straight, I felt like it drove okay.
Get it to where you could open it up a little bit more.
Yeah, without having to like I feel like I'm like going in, having to get it in there, like I'm running like 2 straightaways and like pitching it.
I always like that action. I do indeed as well. So we get set together.
Zach Veach, where are you from?
From a little town called Stockdale, Ohio.
Stockdale, Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Where is that?
About 2.5 hours south of Columbus. So if
Okay.
you draw a line east of Cincinnati, south from Columbus, where they intersect is my hometown.
Got it. And if I have it right, tell me when I go wrong, but you are one of the few drivers here tonight that have, I don't know, 4 or 5 starts in the Indianapolis 500?
Yes, sir. I've been lucky enough to do 4 Indy 500s, 1 with AJ Foyt, 3 of those with Andretti Autosport. For me, dirt racing was always around growing up in Ohio, but I never really did too much of it. And this year, I've been in a wing sprint car a couple of times, and Brian Clausen was always a guy I really looked up to. So when I heard that they were bringing a dirt race to the Speedway a few years ago, I really wanted to take part in it. So luckily things came together with M&M Power Sports and Team Ripper here for me to come and give it a go. So this is my 3rd time racing on dirt, 1st time ever in a midget. So expectations are where they are. There's a lot of learning, to take part of this event, and not a whole lot of laps once you get into the car here. So we're just gonna do the best we can and have a good time doing it. You can't really have any expectations going into it. These guys, they race 90 times a year, so there's a lot of experience around me, so I'm listening to anything anyone's got to say. But it won't change till I go out there and actually taste this thing.
So you're way out of your wheelhouse here.
Oh, for sure. I'm about as far as I can be. We're definitely not in Kansas.
That's for sure. Well, starting the Indianapolis 500, that's a dream come true for so many. It's the greatest, most famous race in the world. You did it 4 times.
Yes, sir.
The feeling of rolling off on the grid, is it unlike anything you've ever had? Or?
I think the most amazing experience of the Indy 500 is when you're strapped in the car and they put on Back Home Again in Indiana, and you hear that kind of come over the loudspeaker, and you know personally what that song means to so many fans, because it means the same to you. And you also know that that's the last song before drivers start your engine. So that's your final moment to kind of prepare before the next 3 hours of your life's laid out over 500 miles around this place. Indy always picks its winner on the big track, so you just want to just be open to whatever happens that day. So it's such a cool experience to me. I'm going to have the same feeling getting to do the dirt race here because, you know, Indy means so much. I think Al Unser Jr. said it, you know, you just don't know what Indy means when he was in Victory Lane, and that's been something that's always stayed with me.
That's great. That's so cool.
We were leading with about 20 laps to go, but we just had the wrong fuel strategy. We needed the yellow.
Sound like they had the right driver, though.
Well,
it's not easy to lead the Indy 500.
It's a very cool experience, that's for sure.
Oh my God!
We're trying to, you know, put something together to be back in 2023 Indy 500, because it'd be cool to say that will be my 5th one. And you know, for me, there's no place like here. There's no place like Indianapolis, and I want to be here as long as I can be.
Yeah, it's the most famous race course in the world.
For sure.
No getting around that one. The nerves in that race. How do you control your nerves? I mean, if I'm down on that grid, I would be scared to death. I mean, they're 230-mile-an-hour go-karts, you know.
To be honest, I think I'm more nervous getting ready to do this midget race than I ever was for an Indy 500, because that was something I was prepared for. You know, you do so many laps around this place leading up to the Indy 500. For me, I'm kind of just being thrown into the thick of it here, but we're really excited. You know, not many opportunities left in my career to start completely over, you know, in something I've never driven before or at a track I've never been to. So tonight I get to drive a car for the first time at a track I've never been to before. So, you know, it's a really unique experience.
Dude, I'm so rooting for you. If you don't make the A main, I completely understand.
Oh yeah,
I know how hard that is to do.
We'll see, you know.
But
I'm starting on pole in Heat 3, and Kyle Larson starting last. So
you're kidding.
I'm in a pretty stacked group, so we'll see how it goes.
We've already covered. You've been in the Indianapolis 500 Motor Speedway Museum, and my question was, do you ever think about the pioneers that crawled in those cars without roll cages, without power steering, skinny little tires, leather Cromwell helmets? I mean, dangerous beyond belief. Do you think about those men who pioneered the way for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I was lucky enough to drive for Andretti for 10 years, so I spent a lot of nights at a dinner table with Mario hearing about stories, and you think about where he started his racing career to where he ended it in the 90s. I mean, how much cars changed in those years as well. That, you know, it kind of gives you appreciation, and that's one thing I love about coming back and doing the dirt stuff now. It gives you appreciation for how guys used to get to IndyCar. You know, it used to start in the dirt world, and you'd work your way up for midgets and sprint cars and things like that. And you know, now this gives me my chance to kind of go back and see some of the lineage and just enjoy the path that, you know, the older generation took to get to where we've all been lucky enough to stand.
God, you know Mario, and you've talked to Mario Andretti.
Yeah, many times. Cool. He's like a grandfather.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Figured out that you are the great-grandson of Duke Nealon?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
21.
Did you know him?
I never met him.
Never met him.
He passed away in 2001.
Okay, so I got you.
I met him, but I was too little to ever remember him.
To know it, yeah. You ever think about those men that climbed in those Novais and Roadsters with leather Cromwell helmets and no roll cage and no power steering, and the way they did it to help pave the way for guys like you? I mean, do you think about those guys?
I do, and I have no clue how they ever did it.
I don't
It's
either.
Insane.
Yeah.
There's no way I could ever strap into a car like that.
What you wouldn't give to sit down with Duke Nalen right now and hear him talk? You think about that?
I do. I've never heard his voice, never seen it in a video. I've never heard the Novi run.
Wow.
Those are the two things I really want to hear soon, is to hear the Novi run and hear his voice. Just listen to him in a video or anything.
That is
It's
so
really
cool to hear you say that. Have you seen those pictures of him sliding in turns 3 and 4 to Indy in the car, going up in flames?
Yep, I have. Pretty amazing to see a wreck like that, and then 3 or 4 years later, whatever it was, he comes back and wins the pole again. Like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. Do you feel any pressure carrying the last name Nalen in the industry at all? I mean,
Every once in a while, not very often.
yeah.
Most people just think of how cool it is, and they don't really see pressure or anything like that.
How'd you get the opportunity you have now?
It started with family.
Yeah.
You know, my dad raced, and I grew up watching him and helping him with late models on asphalt. And we moved to Indiana in 2007 and got into go-karts and then micros, and moved into the wing sprint car right after that.
If you could keep moving along in racing, the next logical step, where do you hope to go?
Hopefully it'd be local 410 stuff, wing 410 races, go to Ohio or run MOA, All-Stars, just local stuff.
Yeah.
Don't really travel with the series. I mean, we don't have any major sponsors, so we all have full-time jobs, still work, and
What do you do for a living?
I survey, land surveying for a company called Manning Engineering out of Plainfield, Indiana. We still got to pay for everything, so
Yeah.
we all have full-time jobs, and we just do this whenever we can.
Living in Indiana now, do you get the question, do you belong to the family heritage?
All the
Nalen?
time.
Okay.
Not as often at like sprint car races, especially with the wing stuff, but when I'm in the midget or even just out here, I hear it a lot.
Yeah. You must be proud to be the great-grandson of Duke Nalen.
It's something cool that I can get to say.
Yeah, that is so cool. So this is a family midget, right? A family
Yep,
team?
it's Mike Dickerson owns it.
Okay.
My dad built the motors, and we're just a team. We've been a team since we moved to Indy in 07. Just growing from there.
I appreciate that. It's all I've ever wanted to do, and I'm so lucky to get to do it.
Yep.
So you just kind of now I'm on the waves, just ride it and try to surf it right.
Yep.
All right. Well, anything you need from me, let me know.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck this weekend.
Take care,
Or
buddy.
this week, I guess, since we're not at weekend.
Yes.
I tell you what's cool is like seeing all the old concession stands out there.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah,
I told people afterwards, like I rode the elevator up in the car, which was really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff. And then when I go to leave, I walk down the steps and like everything